I know what it's gonna be.
All right, setting up your
Spoiler
meeting for
alert.
YouTube Live.
Send to a third party.
Hey, we're live. And muted over here, so I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes it goes on and it's not muted, and I hear the echo in my headphones from because there's the delay. It's not a huge delay because you can set YouTube up to be a like low latency or low delay, which is just seconds. Where normally when you live stream on YouTube, it's like a 40-second delay. But I learned that from years of doing this for church. So, all right, I got to stop glancing over at myself. Let me get off this page. All right.
You're like, yeah, check me out, man.
Hey, I'm so handsome today. I don't know where that accent came from. Whatever.
Me either.
Well, we are just 2 days away from opening day for Major League Baseball, so I'm getting pretty jazzed about that. Brewers open the season in New York against the Yankees.
Ooh, they're starting with interleague play.
Yep.
What a wild time to be alive, Mitch.
Yeah, the last few seasons they've been doing this thing where they play every team in the league.
Wow.
So apparently they started using computers to make the the schedule.
I don't know if that was intended as a burn, but man, it sure sounded like one.
Well, the nice thing is they don't have a group of people sitting in a room putting the schedule together. They actually the computer generates the schedule. So
you're telling me that they've still been doing that, even though the 90s were 30 years ago.
Well, I mean, maybe they were waiting for the advent of AI.
Anyways,
so, at any rate. Well, we're talking about video games today, which baseball will play into this because I've got a new game that I've been playing. You're excited about a game that we've talked about on the show before.
Yes.
But you are now in the game. And I got another game that I'm playing that there's a bit of controversy about, and we'll probably talk about that as well. So,
all right.
If you haven't heard about the controversy, well, we'll talk about it today. So, all right. I'm game to get into everything. You good?
Pun intended.
You betcha. All right, Cam, where do you want to start?
Well, I don't know. Should we start with controversy or save that for the end? Keep the listeners.
That's a great teaser, so maybe we'll do that a little bit later. Let's go ahead and talk about the game that you and I are both excited about and both playing, and you are a little newer to it. But why don't you go ahead and talk about the first one you discussed?
Yeah. So
when we did our pre-show.
So new in the sense that this version of the game I just got. But it's Gran Turismo 7, and I've been playing Gran Turismo since PlayStation 2, and it was my high school girlfriend that introduced it to me.
Yeah.
She's also the one that taught me how to drive stick.
Very good.
Her dad was an engineer at Ford. I grew up in the Detroit area, so everyone either worked for the big three or you worked for a company that somehow serviced, and so her dad, and he was an engineer on Ford's SVT, their special vehicles team. So like the F-150 Raptor, the super fast Focus, the Cobra Mustang, so he was always bringing home the coolest cars. And we would often get to go joyriding in them. But she taught me how to drive stick in like a 1998 Ford Ranger pickup. Anyway, so I've been playing Gran Turismo since then, but I was holding out on GT7 because my PS5 is just there's no disc drive in it. It's just the digital version. And so while the disc version, as Mitch pointed out, I think last episode actually was discounted. The digital download was still $70, and I was like, I can't swing that. And then lo and behold, like a week or two ago, Mitch sent me a text message with a picture. It's discounted, and I immediately bought it. Like within 2 minutes of getting that text, I bought it, and I've been playing it more than I care to admit in public for these last couple weeks, and it's just I had forgotten how much I love the game and tweaking the cars and all this. I have a couple thoughts about the game, and then I want to get your opinion on it too.
Sure.
I love the use of haptic and sound feedback in the controller. So on your accelerator, the right trigger, the brake. So like if you hit the brakes, and you've got ABS on, the left trigger will go like as the brakes are unlocking and stuff. Or like if you hit the accelerator too quick out of a turn and your tires squeal, the accelerator will, like, there's resistance on it, but then like the resistance will go away because your tires slip. And the speaker on the controller will do the count on the boom boom. Like it's just so well done. And the amount of feedback and control that you feel in your hands is unlike any other game I've ever played. It is exceptional. It's so cool. I love it. And it makes it feel more real.
Yeah.
I know I'm staring at a big TV. I know I'm not going 125 miles an hour, but the interplay between what I'm seeing and what I'm touching and what I'm feeling is so cool and so engaging that it's just hard to put down. The graphics are insane.
Yeah.
And the response that you can get from tweaking, different tires and, right, like just all of the ways that you can change and control the vehicles is just phenomenal. And it's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, the graphics, like even just like the rain is like, this looks so real. And the fact that when it's raining, you have to brake sooner and turn slower. And like, it's so good and so well done.
I completely agree.
Yeah, it's a fantastic playing experience. And I was a little skeptical about like the menu thing at first that you had mentioned.
Yeah.
You got to go to the cafe and do the menus to get the different, because like there's so many like of those early ones where I'm like, I don't want 3 Camaros. Like I don't need, like, but then pretty quickly you start getting to like these are the nice fun cars that I really do want. And you don't have to wind up buying them. You just got to, do some races, and that unlocks further courses and yada yada. It's just, I have a few negatives about the game that I want to save till after I hear your thoughts on it. But that's my initial high praise. It's just a wonderful game to play.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the menu system just because as you gain cars, you go up levels as far as your car collection.
Yeah.
And there comes a point where you can sell those cars to get credits. I don't know if you've gotten to that point yet, but I think it's around level 35 or 40 that they open up the ability to or menu 35 or 40 that they give you the ability to start selling cars to the used car lot.
Gotcha.
And so you don't, as far as I can tell, you don't lose anything for selling them. But you can sell them back and get credits to start buying the more expensive cars, and that's how you can kind of afford those a little quicker in the game. But I've really loved this game. I'm someone who I love being able to be creative and being able to go into, I think it's GT Auto. And being able to customize the cars, change the paint on the cars, add decals, do all that kind of stuff, and then go race them, is just really exciting. I really enjoy that aspect of the game. There's almost like you could say there's something in it for everybody, to really appreciate. So some of the cars I don't want to take into GT Auto and customize because they're so beautiful already. But when you start getting up into the more race car that has all the decals on them already and everything, You know, it's almost like you don't really want to touch those because they've done such a good job with those. The Ford GT that I purchased, that I have, is like, I don't want to touch that. It's already so beautiful. So when you start getting into like the supercar races and stuff like that, you
Yeah.
need those kinds of vehicles. So, but yeah, as far as the tweaking is concerned, like I was able to grab one of my supercar. Actually, I have an F1 racer that I've used,
I don't have
and I took that into a touring car race because apparently it qualified for that. But it was you had to be under, I think, 800 performance points, or maybe it was 900, I forget.
Mhm.
But I was just over that. So I increased my ballast. I moved where the weight was in the car a little bit to kind of drop those points down.
Mhm.
And did a few different things to kind of adjust that. There's a I forget what it's called now, like a resistance that you can put on it to lower the power.
Oh, the
setting.
power, yeah, the restrictor. Yeah,
Pow-
yeah.
Power restrictor. Thank you. And there's little tweaks you can do to bring your performance points down to meet the qualifications. And then I took that car in and I was lapping the other cars with it. It was great. So
Yeah, it's
it's such a fun game, you know. I cannot tell you how many times I've spun out and went into the wall already. Just part of the experience. But
yeah. I don't have an F1 car yet. I will get there. I'm like collector level like 18, I
yeah.
think. And that's the levels you get for getting cars, you know. I
Mhm.
can't I think I'm on like menu like 29 or 30.
Yeah.
Right around there. I don't have the ability to sell cars yet. Um and you know how every once in a while you get to do like a championship, you know, like the Pan Europe Championship or whatever, as opposed to like
Mhm.
just doing single races. I think I'm like 6 or 7 deep on
Yeah.
those. But there's one part of the game that I find very annoying, and that is how many buttons you have to push to like end a race and get back to where you were.
Mhm.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I got to hit X to run the race, and then I got to hit circle to get to exit, and then X to exit, and then X again and it's just like I counted one time. It's like I have to hit 8 or 9 buttons just to get back to where I got into the race. Then I've got to
Mhm.
switch over. It's just like the information architecture is so layered. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, if I want to go to a race and find out what the restrictions are for the race, you know, performance points level, manufacturer country, drivetrain, you know, front, rear, whatever. Like, I've got to hit like 4 or 5 buttons to get into it, then 4 or 5 buttons to get back out, then 2 or 3 or 4 more buttons to get into my tuning shop to make all the changes. And it's just like, why is there not a button on the race screen that just says tuning shop? I mean, click one button. I come to see what the restrictions are. I need to make changes to my car. You can make changes to your car in car settings, but if I have to purchase new things to add ballast or to lower points, whatever, or I can add an extra 95 performance points. There should be a button right there that just takes you straight to the stupid tuning shop. Why do I got to go back out to the world? It's so layered and so hierarchical
Yeah.
that like at times it can be really frustrating when like I just want to like literally go buy 2 things for this car and then jump right back.
Mhm.
But that literally is my only negative feedback about the game is how deeply hierarchical the screens and the navigation is. Other than that,
Yeah.
love the game to death. That's like my only one like, God, could someone have thought through this a little bit better from an actual user's experience?
Yeah, so I do appreciate that you can change cars when you're in the race, like the pre-race screen. You
Yeah,
can change cars. You can go in and change your settings. If you already own, you know, different transmissions or different shocks or something like that, there are some abilities to go in and customize that
correct.
within that.
Absolutely.
one of the nice things that I've had to do is, if you don't have the right tires with you, you can purchase your tires usually in that race screen. You can
Yeah.
change your tires in
But
the
that's
race
like the
screen.
only thing that you
Yeah.
can buy there.
Yeah.
If I wanted to like add a muffler or a manifold or a filter
Hmm.
or upgrade my suspension or anything like that,
Yeah.
you got to go all the way back out,
Hmm.
go into the tuning shop, make your changes, go all the way back out, go over to the races, go all the way back down. But
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's
what
fair.
you said is
Mhm.
absolutely correct.
Hmm.
I just and tires are usually one of the things that jumps your performance points the most.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, if you're using racing soft tires, like your performance points are way up there.
yeah, and they're so good. I put those
They
on
are
my
so good.
I put those on my BMW M3, and I was like, "Oh my god, it just goes wherever I want it to, no matter what."
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
was incredible.
So I had to laugh. There was one race that I was really struggling with, because when you get higher in the when you get further down the road with the races, I think it might even be after you finish menu 40. That menu 40 is the last menu
Okay.
that's part of that series, and then you open up the capability to pick different menus, and they have different things that you can do. So it doesn't stop at menu 40, but at that point then you get, there's like 5, 10, 15 menus that open up that you can start picking from. But one of the things that I've really liked, is you do start having to pit in some of the races. So, there might be a 10 lap race where you have to pit. And there was one that I was really struggling with for the longest time, because the performance points were fairly low. And so, and you had to have like a specific class of vehicle. And it just, I didn't have a fast version of this vehicle. And there wasn't a fast version that I could really buy for a reasonable amount of money. So I was tweaking this car and finally got it to a point where it was kind of holding its own, but I still couldn't like place in this race. Well, I started learning about where the rain started coming down in the race.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would pit the lap right before, switch to my heavy wet tires, and then head back out, and I would lose some performance until it started raining. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden all the other cars are spinning out on the raceway, and I'm just weaving in and out of them and passing them, and that was my strategy, because by the time you got to, I think it was lap 9, the road started drying out a little bit, and then they
Mm-hmm.
started catching up to me. But once I flipped into those heavy wet tires, I placed at least in the top 3, if not took the race. So, but in some cases that's just what you had to do, to win the
Yeah.
races, is take that advantage.
Yeah, and that's I mean, the nice thing about those races where there is rain is that it always comes at the same time, and and so there
Roughly
was
at the same time, yeah.
there was one race I was doing part of the last championship, and I knew that it was going to rain for like 2 laps, like laps 2 and 3 roughly. And so I knew that by the time the rain was over, I had to be in a certain position in order to be able to win. And so it was just like I knew that like when the rain hit, I had to be aggressive but smart, because if I could get through, because you always start in the back, right? Like it was like 16 cars, and I got to get first. Well, they say
That's
top 3,
that,
but I got to get
that's
first.
that's my biggest complaint about the game, is that make qualifiers available, so that you can earn a better starting position.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
yeah,
I'm
I
sorry, go
mean,
ahead.
it'd be nice to have that option, right? Because sometimes it is fun to be like, okay, I'm in 16th, I'm starting 40 seconds behind the leader. I've got 5 laps. Let's go. Other times it would be nice to just be like, okay, I'm so much faster than these idiots. They're always in my way. Like they're taking corners 20 miles an hour slower than they should be. So I'm having to slam my brakes on. So yeah, it would be nice to have that option. But yeah, just knowing, okay, there's going to be rain this race. I need to be aggressive but smart and pick my points. And then the other thing that I've discovered is a really good way to make money is to do the track experience stuff. Because even if you get all bronze, you get like 200 grand. And if you get all gold, you get 1 million. So it's a really good way to bump your bank account up, but also, I mean, you're learning the circuits. And you're generally doing it in like stupid fast cars, which makes it more challenging. Because you're going a lot faster. But again, it is a really good way. Like I've got Dragon Trail like absolutely burned into my brain right now because I've done that one.
Yeah.
The track experience, because that like the death chicane is so much fun. But anyways, I digress. Apparently, it's just a fun game. I like it.
Have you gotten to the rally races yet?
Not the actual races. I think they're part of the either the licensing or some of the early menus. You do like a couple little
it's
things,
it's
but I haven't
part of the
done
National
I haven't
A
done a
license.
full rally race yet. No.
Yeah, those are fun. It always takes me a little bit, maybe like the first half of the first lap, to get adjusted to how the rallies feel, like how the dirt track feels.
Yeah.
But once I nail that down, it's like game on. Like it's a ton of fun because I'll spend half the race turned sideways. it's a good time.
Yeah, it's those are fun, but definitely a different feel than like having your racing softs on and just being locked to the track, right?
Oh, yeah.
The exact opposite.
I purchased the Chevy has the Chaparral. It's under Chaparral in the
yeah, I
Grand
think that's
Central.
one you showed me last time.
That is such an interesting car to drive because it having laser propulsion. It is not like driving the other cars, but that thing locks down to the track. It is a lot of fun to drive.
I still can't believe laser propulsion's a thing.
Yeah. You know where they're coming up. Why they created this is for space flight. It uses like a plasma or something like that it fires the laser into and excites that, and it actually you can propel in space a space vehicle, but they've theorized it for car racing, so that's fun. It just looks like it has a big jet engine on it.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. But anyway, I did manage to pick up the SRT Tomahawk, and I have no races that I've been able to race it in.
I don't know what that is.
It's about 1,200 performance points. It's it's a Dodge vehicle, and man, it's one of the slicker looking cars. I think it might be a Vision car. It is.
It is. Yeah. Dude, this thing.
But it is fast. I took it on the is it the Route X track?
Oh, the one, yeah,
like,
that's just
like
it's a
5
kilometer
mile
long.
straightaway.
It's a full kilometer straightaway on both sides, and then a really generous curve that you can just.
Yeah. I took it out on that, and I think that's the fastest car that I have. I got it up to 273 miles per hour from memory serves. So I took the corner. I took the bank or the turn at like 240 miles an hour.
Jeez.
It was quite wild.
Yeah, this thing is how do you even get in the car? Does the cockpit roof lift up and you just climb in?
I don't ask questions. There's a car that there's two cars actually that I want to get, and I forget what the company is that makes them. They're both Vision cars. They're not real cars, but they've been conceptualized. They don't have windshields on them, so it's like they're just metal all the way from the front to the back. And so I have lots of questions about this vehicle. I want to buy one just to get that interior shot and see, like, are they screens inside that you can see all around you, or what is it?
So what you're saying is I thought you meant like no windshield as in like an F1 car. There's just not a windshield. It's just
No,
open air.
it's-
You're saying it's totally enclosed.
It's totally enclosed.
And the driver's just relying on cameras to see.
That's what I'm assuming, but I haven't actually got into it.
Oh,
to
you
look at
could
it,
not pay me enough to drive a car like that, especially on a racetrack. Are you kidding me?
What? There was a movie. Is it Daywalkers? That it was like vampires that would move around during the day, and that's what their cars were like because they were trying to stay out of the sun. So they had cars that were completely metal. All the windows were metalled off, and it was screens and stuff inside that they used to drive. But anyway. But yeah.
Well, you'll have to, if you figure out which cars those are, you'll have to let us know.
It's a Japanese brand, I'm pretty sure.
Honda, Mazda.
No,
Nissan.
it's a totally like not a main brand. It's I don't know if it's I'm gonna just make up names, but if I start trying to guess.
Is it Samsung?
No. Not
Are they
Samsung. That's Korean.
Oh, they are Korean, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, now I feel dumb.
Yeah. Let me see.
Casio, get your
Korean.
get your keyboard in there. I knew Samsung was Korean. I feel like a dummy now.
Let's see if I can find just a list of the car brands that are in there. Okay, every car in Gran Turismo is brand 7. Or, yeah, brand central. And how to purchase them. All right. You can't just give me a list? Oh, here we go. Chevy, Ford. By the way, you can race Teslas in this game.
Yeah, I
Do you
got
have
a
a Tesla
Tesla
yet?
in one of the like the roulette awards. I got a Tesla Model 3, I think, or whatever. And I was just like,
Yeah.
why?
Dude, I pimped one out, designed it, and I've raced it a bunch of times. It's actually a pretty competent racer.
Okay, Exhibit, you over here pimping your rides?
Oh, we pimping. We straight pimping our rides.
Okay, so what listeners need to know, besides the fact that Mitch is, a 40-year-old white man and is pimping his rides, he also told me that Zoom is live and wants to smoke earlier today. So I think he's having a bit of a personal
Zoom
renaissance.
Is live. Was it Zoom is live and ready and wants to smoke? I think. Is how I put
Yeah.
it.
Mitch is having a bit of a personal renaissance, I think.
I was just throwing back to the Street Profits.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah. I'm still looking. So it looks like I'm into.
As long as you
Japanese
don't
cars
say
here.
you're ready to get jiggy with it, then I think we're okay.
No, I'm a white man. I got no jiggy.
Oh my god.
I said that.
You did on the internet.
Mhm.
That is canon from now on.
Yep. Man, why can I not? I thought it was a Japanese brand. I want to say it was something like the Japanese, like digital something or other, digital interactive group or something like that. Dang it. And you know what's bugging me just enough? Oh, maybe, no, it's Italian. It's Italian design is what it is. Yeah, so they have two cars that are both, no, I don't want to subscribe to your newsletter. Maybe.
Today in Mitch Reads the Internet. That
No,
should be
they're-
our new segment.
Ital Design X Neo. They're both Vision cars.
Which is ironic because you can't see out of them.
They're million credits apiece. Let me see if at least I can search for them here.
Yeah, this is the part of the show where we search the internet for things, and hopefully the people that are watching don't leave. All right. All right, I think I've got some pictures here.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up on my browser. These things look ridiculous.
Yeah, those are fun.
Those wheels look like they're like 3 feet in diameter.
No, they're huge. They're weird looking.
No, not diameter. What's the phrase? No, yeah, it is diameter. I always get diameter and circumference mixed up, which is hilarious because I'm
Yeah.
not stupid.
Right? So, all right. If I'm going to share this on the internet, I have to I have to lock my phone and then come back here and share my phone screen.
Exenio, from the Latin zenium, a gift given to a guest.
Yes. So these, I'm trying to get these on the internet so people can see what we're seeing. So this is probably a pretty good example. How do I rotate my camera? Minimize. There's no rotate. Nope. All right. Never mind then. But hopefully the viewers can see what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Oh, good gravy. But I totally lost the tab that I had it in or what I was looking for.
I think
so.
these do have windshields.
You think so?
Yeah.
Now, see, the other thing I want to know is on YouTube, why does it only show your image and not mine? When I'm sharing my screen. Maybe it's because I am sharing my screen. But whatever. That's just weird. So everybody got to see your response to this, but didn't get to see mine. So weird.
Well,
Anyway. Oh, if I could afford Ecamm again, we could do this more professionally.
So expensive, though.
$40 a month. It's crazy.
All right. What video games do you want to talk about?
All right. So I bought a couple of them recently that I'm playing, and they're so different from each other. The first one was I've got the new MLB The Show 2025.
Nice.
And I'm having a blast playing this game. I went right to March to October mode. So you're playing through the whole season. And I am on our PlayStation Plus subscriber. So the 2024 version was available to play. I wanted to get some updated rosters and own a version of this game. So I played 2024 to kind of get the controls down and get a little used to how it plays a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as 25 came out, deleted that and installed 25. And I've been playing that for the last week or so, ever since it came out, and been having a blast playing this game. I haven't figured out everything about this game yet. I just jumped into March to October, and I am crushing it. I'm 20 games up on the Chicago Cubs right now in our division. I think it was 96-37
Have you played every single one of those games?
No. So how March to October works?
Just say, oh my God,
So-
Mitch, you have a job.
Yeah. So how March to October works is it simulates through the season. And as it reaches key points in the games that are kind of like it could go either way, it allows you to play those moments. So
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's like every 4 or 5 games of the season, you play like the last 2 or 3 innings of the game. In some cases, they might throw you just into the bottom of the ninth, and
and it's your job to score a couple of points to win the game. But it just kind of drops you in every so often. You're not playing the whole game. And I thought that I would want to play the whole game all the time. And I did that when I had 2024. I played a couple of like full games, which it's nice to sit down and just play through a full game.
Mm-hmm.
But I like this style of being able to get through the season more quickly. And what you do is like if you win a game, you earn momentum, and then that kind of dictates how it simulates the next few games. So you're more likely to win the next few games if you win the game that you had the key moments in. If you lose, then you have them. You're more likely to lose the next few games. So it plays this kind of momentum system where you affect the overall season, but you don't have to play every single game to get through the season. So, but
yeah, because baseball has too many games.
Yep. Last time I looked, I'm projected to win 112 games in the season.
That's a few.
Yeah.
That's a few.
Yeah, if you won 112 games in the major leagues today, you would be god status in the majors. I don't know that if it's been done before. So, but that's pretty crazy. And I will likely be able to go on and play in the World Series. I'm suspecting, so we'll see. But I'm having fun playing.
Do you think in the playoffs you will get to play the whole games, or will they still sim to key points? You'll find out.
I'm assuming they're going to continue simulating the games, but we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see.
So I just Googled best MLB regular season record. It's the 1906 Cubs, who went 116-36, and then the Seattle Mariners went 116-46 in 2001. So the more games in the season. So their winning percentage is less than the Cubs, but they have the same amount of wins. So 116 is the most wins anyone's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Cubs, that was a .763 winning, so 76.3% winning percentage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is pretty darn good.
I can beat that. Actually, I don't know if I have enough games left in the season to beat that. So, but we'll see. I've only got 37 losses, I think, right now. So, but I'm really getting the rhythm down as far as the pitching and the hitting and everything. Like there's a nice rhythm to it.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing is the fielding, especially because every so often they'll put you into game as a player. So you only play the key moments of that player. So you play all you pay all their at bats, and then you'll field for them as well. And that's really tricky. I'm going to have to work on that because especially infield fielding is rather tough. If you're playing shortstop and the ball's coming at you, you got to move and you got to have like lightning quick responses to throw to the right base and you don't do it enough to get it in your fingers to be doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like you've got to be thinking through the movements and that can be challenging. But they do have a mode of once I finish this season, I think I'm going to go back and try this other mode where, and I forget the name of it, but you play from high school. You create a character and you play from high school into the majors. So, and you can use your own face. They have an app.
In your phone, and it will scan your That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the app does other things because there's a whole like baseball card infrastructure with at least one mode where you build a team and you play that team. But the app is really designed for managing all the baseball cards and the all that and buying baseball cards and stuff like that. But they have a setting in there that's like scan your face. So you can scan your face into the game and create yourself as a player and start out in high school and work your way up through the majors. So They refer to the
that's cool.
feature as High School to Hall of Fame as
Gotcha.
the tagline for the feature.
Yeah, that's my that's always like my favorite mode in like Madden is like you start out in high school, you play a couple seasons in college, and you get drafted, and
Which, by the way, I bought Madden 25 the other day for $13
why was
on
it
the
so
digital Play
cheap?
Store. And the season's over, so they sold.
Yeah.
They're selling it for cheap. So
That's-
I haven't played it. I haven't even downloaded it yet, to be honest with you. But I thought, man, this will be the game that I'll pull out when I'm ready to play some football. So
Was that the other game you were going to talk about, or was
no.
there
Actually,
Okay.
the other game that I was going to talk about is I've been snapping up little deals here and there. A
Mhm.
buddy of mine, actually, I've got a friend at work named Cam as well, so it's kind of weird.
Is he equally as charming and handsome as I am?
Oh, absolutely. Um, but he, what were we talking about the other? We were talking about Battlefield the other day, the Battlefield series. And I happened to go on the PlayStation app and see that Battlefield 2042, which is the most recent one, was on sale
Mhm.
for $6. So I snapped it up.
$6, jeez.
But again, haven't played that one. I downloaded it, but I haven't played it. The game that I want to talk about, and this is the controversial one right now, is Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Ooh.
This has been a fun game, and honestly, I bought it and started playing it before I heard about all the controversy that's around it. So it's for those of you who know, the Assassin's Creed games, they're basically you're going back and you're playing through kind of a simulated history. They don't claim they claim to use like based on actual events, but they don't claim it's history. So, but you play through these events. Like the last one I played was part of the Ezio collection. Yeah, I think it was Assassin's Creed 2. It was either 2 or 3, I forget which. But I love that game. It's one of the few games that I've actually played to 100%. So collected everything, did everything in the game.
Mhm.
Just really enjoyed it. This one is based on feudal Japan, which is where they kind of stepped
Okay.
in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so being part of, the Japanese culture is very very big on respect
Mhm.
and respecting their ancestors and all this kind of stuff. And Ubisoft kind of stepped in it a little bit because originally they had it in the game where everything in the game was destructible. And so somebody posted a video online where one of the characters went in and destroyed the shrine and broke everything and was attacking the monks that were in there, and there was blood splattered everywhere.
Mhm.
And so they caught a bunch of heat from the Japanese prime minister actually made a statement about the game. Like it was that big a deal in the Japanese culture that they were basically denouncing the game. There's a petition of I think it's over 100,000 signatures on the petition against Ubisoft. I don't know if that was to try and get it banned or what the point of the petition was, but just basically, hey, we're angry. We don't want this. This is disrespecting our culture. And so they've dialed back on some stuff. They went in and the day one patch and they patched the ability to destroy everything. So the shrines and stuff like that, you can't go in and destroy stuff anymore. They've dialed down on the blood. They basically meant all non-combatant characters in the game now. You can't they don't bleed. So that was part of their trying to, when you go into a temple or you go into a shrine, that you can't just start willy-nilly attacking people and causing mayhem. So they've dialed back a little bit on some of that stuff. I think a lot of it comes down to like it's the same problem that Grand Theft Auto had, is that you could be immoral and an awful person, or you could be a good person. And this game doesn't require people to do things well, okay, there might be a couple of exceptions to this, but it doesn't typically require you to be a bad person or to be disrespectful of the Japanese culture.
Mhm.
They take exception to it because you can, you know. There are a couple of like there's one. I haven't looked into this, to be honest with you. This is just what I was told. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I was told that there was a quest where you're going to get the armor of a very well-known samurai, and you
Okay.
have to go in and raid his tomb to get it. And that if that's true, that is very disrespectful to the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that quite honestly that shouldn't have been in there to begin with, because raiding tombs to take people's stuff is just, I don't know, it's kind of gross. But
Yeah.
that was another thing that I had heard about this. Now, in reading stuff online, I didn't see that mentioned. I just saw the being able to destroy the shrines and stuff like that as a thing. But I will tell you from my own point of view, I have really enjoyed this game. I think that the Assassin's Creed games as a whole don't really reward you for killing a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
You do have, there are people that you have to assassinate, but you're not just willy nilly walking around on the street killing everybody, because there's consequences to that. So the latest mission that I did is I had to go in and assassinate this woman. Yeah, I'm playing as a female character. You have to go in and assassinate this woman because you're getting vengeance for her killing your dad. So that's kind of what the game is based on. So you had to sneak into her castle because there was basically, her bodyguards everywhere. And so you had to sneak in and get up into this upper room to access her. And then you had to sneak up on her and assassinate her, because if she saw you, she just killed you. So so you had to sneak up on her and assassinate her. But it took me about 5 tries to get it, and I was able to get in there and do it. But other than that, I'm still waiting to figure out, like, where do I go to buy stuff? Where do I go to get some of the armor and some of the clothing and some of the different things that you can collect along the way? I haven't really come across that yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been enjoying playing the game. It's really pretty, very much like you were talking about Gran Turismo. It's really, really pretty. The rain effects are really, really nice. The just being able to look over the countryside, because
Mm-hmm.
a mechanic in all the Assassin's Creed games is kind of the eagle's nest, where you go up and you unlock parts of the map by going up to a high point and just
Mm-hmm.
looking out over the countryside. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's nothing done poorly in this game. So, but I've been enjoying it. I'm kind of watching out for some of the cultural things that maybe aren't great, but I haven't run across anything personally yet. But yeah, so
It just sounds like a lot of violence.
it is. You can go into the settings and turn off certain things. There's a setting for dismemberment and a setting for blood.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. So I turned off the setting for dismemberment, and I might actually go in and turn off the setting for blood, because the blood's a little gratuitous. So I suppose it really, I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you went and like stabbed somebody, there's going to be blood, but it just seems like a lot. So I might end up going in and turning that off. But yeah. So those are the 2 games that I've been playing the most lately. And you had mentioned that Fortnite OG is dropping season 3 today, as we record.
Yeah. Yeah, OG season 3 starts today. Which, it is what it is. I'll probably play a couple rounds this evening for funsies.
Yeah.
But it's
From
go ahead.
No, I enjoy playing Fortnite. The trouble with me in Fortnite is that I'm not very good. I have to play it regularly to kind of keep the skill up and keep the like be able to do things fluidly. But I have the most fun when I play with other people. But if I don't
Yeah.
play a whole lot, then I just end up being an anchor for the team. As you found out, I'm really good at distracting people, though. 'Cause
Well-
last game you and I played together, I ran out and distracted the guy while you and the other girl that we were playing with killed him. So
Yeah, sometimes every team just needs a meat shield. You know what I mean? And that used to be me. So
yeah. You're welcome. Anyway, do we want to transition into what's delighting us today?
sure.
All right. Cam, what's delighting you today?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked.
Well, let's just say before we were going to do video games as the topic for the show, Gran Turismo was going to be what's delighting you today.
Yes,
But we-
because it is.
But because we talked about that, we're going to pivot. So
Yeah, so Mitch, you know me, I like toys and gadgets just like you do. And back in September, I backed a project on Kickstarter. And it's called oh, I had a piece of beard stuck in my microphone. It's called the Super Cage, and it's by a company called Moment that specializes in like mobile photography and videography and all like the lenses and filters and cases and gizmos and gadgets to go with it. And so like this is their most ambitious project to date. And I'm going to show you it here in a second, but I want to tell you what it is first. It is a cage for your phone, but it is also has an integrated USB-C hub so that you can record video from your phone to an SD card to an external SSD. You can attach microphones to it. You can monitor with headphones. You can attach external batteries. It's a full-on cage, so you can anything that you can attach to a DSLR or mirrorless camera, you can attach to this now, and it's all integrated. So it looks something like this.
sure.
And so these handles are completely detachable, and I can put them anywhere. This is just happens to be a shotgun mic. My phone is in the middle, and as you can see, the USB-C hub is integrated to the bottom. And so you got this in here, connecting your phone to the hub. There's the SD card slot there. There's data. There's an HDMI port hiding down here, so I can mount my monitor to the top of this. The sides and the top are what's called a NATO rail. So these things, like if I loosen this up, this can just slide up and down and then pop off like that. So that's a NATO rail as a standard, and then the bottom is what's called Arca Swiss, and that's another standard for tripods. So this is like universally accepted standards for camera and video equipment. And so this thing can be as bare bones or as insane as you want. And it's just really neat. Yeah. So there's, the HDMI port is down here. So you can, it's got ways to like keep your wires tucked in, and it's got all the 1/4 and 3/8/16 mounts. So there's mounts on the bottom, mounts on the side. There's cold shoes, which is how this microphone is attached. And so, like I said, I backed it in September, and it just got here, like, I want to say a week and a half ago, maybe.
Okay.
There was a bunch of customs issues. Like, it's had in customs for like 4 weeks, just sitting there. But I have an unboxing video that also I walk through everything, and it's like a 9-minute unboxing and walkthrough video on my YouTube channel, Cam Brennan on YouTube. If this is something that piques your interest and you want to just kind of get more of the details on that sort of stuff, and then I'm planning on doing a review video in like 2 or 3 weeks once I've kind of put it through its paces and tried different configurations, and what's like a sensible use case and configuration for this, and what's the most insane one I can come up with, with the monitor and with the handle and with the microphone and with, this giant battery attached to it, and like all of the things that I would do, like if I was shooting a wedding, like can I make a wedding rig out of my phone in the same way that I can do that with, my big boy mirrorless camera. So hopefully I'll have that out in the next 2 or 3 weeks on my channel. But the unboxing and walkthrough video is up there now if anyone's interested. So
All right.
that's what's delighting me. What about you, sir?
Well, I mentioned a friend of mine at work named Cam that is kind of ironic that I have two Cam. Actually, my wife will ask me which Cam, and I'll say, well, work Cam or podcast Cam.
Nice.
But he turned me on to, he's a big anime guy. He's been watching a lot of different anime. And he turned me on to an anime that I am really, really thoroughly enjoying. And it's called Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't want to give a ton away because part of the fun of the show is the discovery of how he starts to, level up himself and stuff like that. But anyway, so it exists in a world of where suddenly one day these portals started opening up into what they refer to as dungeons, and each one is set at a different level. So they do S through E. So S, A, B, C, D, E, F, E. I'm sorry, S, A, B, C, D, and E level. At the same time that these started showing up, people started awakening with powers, and they are set the same levels. So S through E. And so anybody who's so powerful that they don't rank goes into the S rank. And there's only like 10 people that are recognized as being S rank. Otherwise, all the rest of them are A through E. And you start out the series, the main character is an E rank, and you're not supposed to be able to level up your rank. Once you've been tested and assigned a rank, you don't change. That doesn't change. Well, because of the events of the first few episodes, he suddenly gains the ability of being able to start leveling up. And there's a lot of mystery at this point as to exactly what's all going on with this. But it gets to the point where like stuff happens in the show that you're just like, oh my gosh, that just happened. Like it blows your mind as the show goes on. And I think, one of my major issues with a lot of anime is how slow it moves. And, a really good example of that is if you've ever watched One Piece, the anime, not the live action show. The live action show actually moves pretty quickly. But the anime, man, it's like 4 or 5 episodes to tell a story. So it's just very, very slow in plotting. Solo Leveling is not that at all. Like it moves really quick.
Nice.
They are just finishing up season 2. There's one more episode to drop on Saturday. And it's
so
only
this is like a current show.
It is a current show.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
There's only one place to watch it. Well, technically 2 if you buy it, but there's only one place to stream it, and that's Crunchyroll. And they're about 2 to 3 weeks behind on the dubbed versions. So the subtitled versions are current, and the dubbed versions are about 3 weeks behind. So we've been watching the dubbed versions. I have not seen any of the subtitled versions ones yet, but him and I have talked about maybe just watching the subbed versions once the finale comes out, because otherwise the internet blows up with all this stuff and it ends up getting spoiled. So we might end up just watching ahead on the subtitled versions, but it is a show worth watching. I subscribe to to Crunchyroll with a 1 week free trial and totally got hooked to this show. So I paid for 1 month. I'm going to try and finish it within that month so that I don't have to pay for another month. But it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this show. So they let you, they've got the drug model really. They let you watch like the first 2 or 3 episodes for free. Like no, not even part of the free trial. You just watch them for free. And then it pops up and says, "Hey, you've seen your free episodes. Now you get a 7-day free trial and you pay after 7 days." So if you don't want to subscribe to Crunchyroll,
Nailed it.
Yep. If you don't want to subscribe to the service, I would recommend waiting until the final episode comes out and then do the 1 week free trial and just burn through them. You can easily go through 4 or 5 episodes in a sitting. You know, they're about 20 minutes to a half an hour each. And so you can burn through quite a few of them at a time. And there's going to be, once they're done with this, there's 25 total episodes of the 2 seasons. And they've announced that they have a 5-season story arc planned and a movie. So there's a lot more coming yet. So yeah, Solo Leveling. Check it out. It is a lot of fun. The first few episodes are a little slow. They take a little time to develop the story and introduce some of the characters and the premise. But once it takes off, and it's fun. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be honest. My knowledge of anime is what I can remember about Dragon Ball Z from middle school. So I am an absolute ignorant person when it comes to anime.
There's another one that I've been watching through that he recommended as well, Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm sorry, I always pronounce it wrong. But that one it's not catching me quite as quickly. So I'm about 7 or 8 episodes in, and I'm still it's good. It's not bad by any means, but it's taken me a little time to get into this one. Some of them that I've watched in the past that I have really appreciate. I have watched Dragon Ball Z. Attack on Titan is really good. I think that's a really quality anime. For those that haven't seen it, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Some of it you got to really kind of let the Japanese culture be Japanese, because I'm sorry, but in Western society we don't see men crying like they do in Japanese shows, so that can be a little bit off-putting. Some of the way they can turn from just a normal conversation into like just all of a sudden it's drama and emotional can be kind of off-putting, because we're not used to that in our Western shows. But as long as you can kind of adapt to the way they do the shows and how they like their culture is so much different, and how like respect is a huge thing, you know, as we talked about earlier. Like it's just a lot of the stuff happens from a different mindset. I was watching an episode of Jujutsu Kaisen yesterday that this dude's crying because this other guy won't tell him what kind of chicks he digs. Like, like it just didn't. It seems so silly to me, but and then again, apparently this is a regular thing for this guy, that he just starts bawling out of nowhere for dumb things. But yeah. Anyway.
Nice. All right. Well then.
Have you seen any Severance yet?
Not yet. I'm so they just announced that season 4 of Ted Lasso is a go, which was a shock, because after season 3, like, it was done, it was over. So I have started, because I never watched the 3rd season because I just didn't want it to be over. So I'm rewatching Ted Lasso right now, and it's just such a good show.
It's such a good show.
Good. And I'm still watching Mythic Quest because
yeah,
it's so funny.
I just got caught up yesterday. So
I'm still not caught up. I'm on
mhm.
season 3. The first episode
Yeah.
of season 3 is when Ian and Poppy are in their new like super futuristic, like all white, no whatever spaceship,
Yep.
and they do the thing where it's been like a year, and like they show up at Mythic Quest headquarters for the writer, the old writer guy. I can't even remember his name. And like they, like, oh, have you
Yeah.
missed us? No, not really. Like this is like this whole like they haven't even talked to each other in a year, and they don't miss. And then at the end of the episode, they're like, all right, well, we're gonna leave, and they get in the elevator and they go down one floor, and their office is on the floor below.
Yeah.
I almost
That's a
fell
great
off the
reveal.
couch. I was laughing
Mhm.
so hard because they just set it up like they're worlds apart. They don't even see each other or interact or whatever, and they're literally in the same building, just a floor below. I was dying. I was laughing so hard. It was such the perfect punchline.
Yeah. And that office, the Grim Pop office, is there's so many great gags and that they do because of how like silly that office is designed.
Yeah, it's
So
Just more praise for a good show.
yeah, it's good. In the current season has been really good as well. I guess I was wanted to say something and that's how I said it.
You what?
Because there's some interesting stuff that happens in season 4 that's really good.
Oh yeah,
So-
well, I haven't got. I'll let you know when I get there.
I still think that the best episode of it, you've seen the pandemic Zoom episode, right?
Yeah, that's the end of season 1.
It is so good. That episode by itself is so well done.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
but they
Oh,
do
man.
that. They do that pretty regularly. There's some good stuff about what's his name? Pooty Boot?
Pooty shoot.
Or yeah, whatever his name is, I forget. But there's some good stuff in the new episode about him. That was a
So he
good
comes
episode.
back.
Yeah. Well, do you know who he is yet?
Yeah, he's Ian's kid.
Yeah. So I can't remember when that was revealed. So
That was in the first season.
was it? Okay.
Yeah.
But there's some interesting stuff that happens in the second season with that. There's an episode dedicated to him in the second season. The murder mystery episode is really good. I mean, they just do these like one-off episodes that are just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, no, Severance its finale was this last week. It was equally satisfying and heart-wrenching at the same time. I'll just say that. It was really good. The last episode was really, really good. The whole season has been just some of the best TV I've watched. So it's good. But I'll
Yeah,
leave it
I
at
know.
that, 'cause
I
don't
feel
wanna
like
spoil anything.
I feel like a jerk because every time you're like, "Have you started it yet?" I'm like, "No." I will watch it. I promise.
Yeah.
And then we can do a whole episode dedicated to it.
Sounds good. But the other thing that I'm really interested to look at is that they actually started a new season of Daredevil on Disney Plus. So I
Oh,
don't
that's
know if
right.
you
They're bringing
watched
that back.
any Daredevil.
I watched all the original seasons when they were on Netflix. I
Mhm.
really
Those
liked
are,
it.
Those are available on Disney Plus as long as you don't have the child restrictions active. So, because at one point they added a bunch of the Hulu stuff in, but you had to set up an account that was locked initially. So because they were really worried about kids getting into a lot of that stuff.
Mhm.
So I don't think they require that anymore because I've got an unlocked account right now that I can get into everything. But
Well, yeah, that's I'll have to check that out because I have Disney Plus too, but I have an account and my daughter has one. So I'm assuming on mine it would be fine.
yeah, you'll have to take a look and see if it's opened up to everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original season was really bloody and gruesome. the original couple seasons. I don't remember how many seasons there were, but
I think there was 2 or 3. I think maybe 2.
yeah, I prepped my wife on this to say, okay, well, in season 1, there's a scene where the bad guy bashes a guy's head in the car door, and it's gruesome and it's bloody and it's pretty rough.
Yeah,
And she's like,
Avengers.
yeah,
This is
not interested.
right. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
well, and I think that was sort of like the differentiating thing about like Daredevil and Punisher and a lot of those Jessica Jones, like those shows on Netflix, was because Iron Man and the Avengers and Thor, just all these like bright, high color, kind of funny, I mean, like lots of people like blown up and stuff, but like they're like more feel good sort of superhero stuff. And then these the other Marvel shows on Netflix came out and they were like dark and gritty and violent and I mean, the Punisher exists just to kill people. Like he's just a murder machine.
The Punisher, I think, was an interesting choice because it asks a lot of important questions, about vengeance and different things. I thought that they did that really well. I think is it in the second season of Daredevil that they introduced the Punisher. But they asked some really good questions with him.
Well, in his show, I mean, his like standalone show, yeah. I mean, he isn't Daredevil. You're right, but like the couple seasons they did of the Punisher was like really, really good.
Yeah, and I haven't watched those, so.
Oh, you haven't?
Interested? No, I.
I'm glad you said that because I was about to say some stuff, and now I'm not gonna.
So, and they had Jessica Jones had a show on her own. I don't know how many seasons it was. I assume that it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, well, so like
they did the Defenders too.
Well, yeah, she had a show. Then there was Luke Cage had a show. Then there was Iron Fist. Iron Fist got absolutely panned by everybody.
Yeah,
it was apparently I watched like two episodes, back in the day, but they started out great, and then I think they kind of tailed off and went kind of downhill as far as.
Yeah, they can't all be winners.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea they were bringing Daredevil back. Same
Daredevil
cast.
Born Again is the title of the show.
Is it the same cast?
From everything that I could see, it looked like it.
Okay, like main characters at least.
Yeah.
Good old Foggy Nelson.
Yeah. So I haven't watched any of it, yet, but the two main characters, the Daredevil and Kingpin, are both the same actors. So
yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio was great in that role. He was really good. The other thing before we get off, Andor season 2.
It's coming. When does it start?
April 22nd.
Okay.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, this should be the last season of Andor because it's supposed to trail right into the Rogue One movie. So
yeah,
this should be really good.
Which I have mixed feelings about because like this season 1 was so good. It was such a well done show that like I want more, but I also know that if I get more, it's probably not going to be as good. So it's like that trade off of, okay, we only get 2 seasons, and I want more, but we already know the end of the story. So not dragging it out is, I think, probably the better decision, and just making sure that the 2 seasons are just absolutely. And like, have you seen like the trailers and stuff for it?
No.
Your cat just knocked some stuff over.
Yep.
I watched a couple trailers and some like the things where like they talk to like the actors about it and stuff, and the scale of this season looks insane.
Yeah.
In like a really good way. So I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, and this season, what it needs to do is it needs to pull together the 2 threads that were in the first season, Andor story with the Imperial story, and kind of pull those threads together. We need to see how Andor gets to the point that he was in Rogue One, where he's basically this like no questions asked. I was told to assassinate this person and they're dead. This person is a liability, they're dead. Like like he's kind of gotten there in the first season, but he has to go further. And so there's a lot more story to tell here. So and there's a lot of characters in the first season of Andor that are not in Rogue One. So, you know, there may be some threads that get pulled there. So
yeah, that's always the interesting.
Wonder,
Go ahead.
I don't know anything, but I kind of wonder if one of the things that fuels Andor going into the Rogue One movie is the death of the girl that he's into on the home planet, which she hasn't been killed yet. So
no, but she got tortured, right, for a while.
Yeah, so she's already in the eyes of the Empire. So so what they'll do with that in the second season, but I kind of wonder if they aren't going to come after her, and that's what fuels his rage, and what fuels his need to do what he does. But just conjecture. I don't know anything. So, but anyway, we should probably wrap up because my cat just got in the closet over here now, so she's being a little turd. You know, I will tell you, I sit at this desk and work on stuff and do stuff, and she'll curl up on the blanket on the seat behind me, and she'll be really nice, and she won't get into anything. The minute I get on Zoom, she turns into a little turd and starts knocking stuff over. And
well, she knows that it's we're streaming live on YouTube to a large audience of worldwide viewers, and so she wants to show off.
Yeah. I could shut the door to the office here, but you know, I should probably shut the door to the office next time. Anyway, it's been fun, man.
It has.
I'm glad we were able to get together again today. I'll probably do this in a couple weeks again, so stay tuned. Make sure your notifications are on and you are subscribed to the channel, and that way you will get notifications when we go live. And sometimes it's just going to be out of nowhere. So very good. We throw together a little episode about video games. So
indeed.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and we will see you back here next time. So people, you can find me at mitchcraig.online. Cam, where can people find you?
CamBrennan.com and Cam Brennan everywhere. I'm very original like that.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks y'all